Hi, this is Dr. Kimi Sato. Okay, part one of this lecture, we have the use of Olympic-style lifting to talk about the specific needs for Olympic-style lifting. So in this lecture, we'll talk about the Olympic-style lifting, and then there's definitely the recent trend of using Olympic-style lifting for a lot of coaches in athletic population. And then we all know that the Olympic-style lifting increase the power output and then also improve the triple extension capability. And then that leads into athletic actions such as running and jumping for triple extending the lower extremity from doing a lot of Olympic-style lifting. So this image is a great example to show that the Olympic-style lifting transferred to athletic actions such as running. So you see that from the motion of Olympic-style lifting, you have a triple extension right at the second pole, and you see on the running mechanics, you have a very good triple extension. So there's definitely a position where we can say that Olympic-style lifting, if you do it right way, you have a very good transfer to performance. And this is another example that if you don't do the training in the right way, you might have a great looking body, but it doesn't have a big engine. What that means is you have big muscles that doesn't work. So we call that as a small engine. So Olympic style lifting, doing it in the right way, really develop the size of the engine, and then that leads to better force output and then better speed output, and leads to the better power output. And this is the example of not being able to do a lot of right training, and then it doesn't transfer to performance. For example, you might have a great looking body, but a small engine. So if you only play sports and then you don't do any physical improvement, chances are you might look good, but you don't have a big engine. In result, you don't have a lot of force output. So what you have to develop is to create a greater size of an engine for better force output and then better speed, and then that leads to better power output. So strength and conditioning approach, when we actually train athletes, what we want to do is to focus on, one part is focusing on the force output, and then the other one focusing on velocity. So you have force times velocity equal to power. So we have to do different exercises in Olympic style lifting, and then it's not just the one exercise that makes you better. It actually have a series of exercises in a periodic manner, and we can have a lot of good success in a training sequence. So strength and conditioning approach, we have two different ways to approach this. The one is to focus on force output. So you have a more strength-based training. And then you have a velocity training. So you do the velocity-based training to improve the speed. So if you have a force output and then better speed, that equals to power output. So in a strength and conditioning approach, we have to emphasize both sides to be able to develop the total power output. So in a short summary of the conceptual portion of the Olympic style lifting, that the trend is definitely there, that the people realize how important the Olympic style lifting is, but you have to understand that you have to produce the force, you have to produce the speed in order to gain the power. And what we can do in those lectures are to introduce the technique correctly, and then also try to emphasize the right exercises at the right timing.